Hello, great people. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi had called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to cut short his trip from France, return to Nigeria to attend to urgent pressing national issues, particularly the case of rising insecurity in the country. You will recall that there have been series of killings in Benue and Plateau State. This is coming at a time when the visit of Mr. Peter Obi to Benue State was cut short after he had a successful visit in Plateau State. On this episode of Politics with your sure plug, Dr. Omosholadeji, I will try to combine two topics because the two are intertwined, which is the call on the president by Mr. Peter Obi to return from France to attend to the insecurity issues in the country, and also the action of the governor of Benue State to cut short the trip of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, is courtesy call to the affected communities in Benue State. I'll be looking at the two issues because they are intertwined. Now, let's dive into it. First, let us look at something, which is the statement of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi. What statement did he put out, and what is the weight of that statement? What are the things he said in that statement that we need to look at whether it is right or it is wrong, or is it worthy, based on what Mr. Peter Obi said here, for the president to cut short his trip from France and return to Nigeria? Let's read the statement. Now, the statement says that in the 2 weeks you have been away, over 150 Nigerians have lost their life to insecurity across Nigeria, especially in Plateau and Zamfara states. The repeated pipeline explosion in the Niger Delta further reflect a nation in distress. In the northeast, Borno state leaders are bemoaning the return of insurgency, with troops and civilians being killed randomly. In the southeast, the story is the same: killings and abduction. Amidst all this, the CEO of the troubling company called Nigeria is retreating far away land in France from the company's headquarters. Now, from what Mr. Peter Obi said, is it worthy for the president to cut short his trip if 150 people are being killed? Well, to a sane Nigerian, even if 10 people are being killed, it is worthy for the president to be on ground. But to, disoriented and irrational Nigerians, particularly those that will want the best from their wife, that will pay their children's school fees, and will want their child to become first or second in school, and if their child does not become first or second, they will rebook that child. To those kind of people, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if they are now members of the APC or political supporters of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, anything the president does is right. No matter what you say, they will find one thing or the other to justify it. And the hypocrisy of such people, it actually stinks, because are they being fair to their wife and children? Now, let us look at another thing from this statement, which is that, does Mr. Peter Obi need to tell you before you know you have to cut short your trip from France? Does Mr. Peter Obi need to tell you at all before you know that you need to quickly return to Nigeria as a president? Because let us look at this. You are the leader of Nigeria. And what are the characteristics of a good leader? I don't want to go dive into complex, features of leadership or a good leader. Let me just use the one they teach in social studies, elementary, all this elementary class. The characteristics of a good leader, some of them are compassion, affection, protection. Now, let me just stick to this three. Compassion. If you are compassionate about the people in Nigeria, particularly those in Plateau, Benue, and Zamfara State, does anybody need to tell you before you return? If you are affectionate, do you need anybody to tell you before you return? If anything happens to Remi Tinubu, with profound respect to our Sheyi Tinubu now, are you telling me that you are not going to return? And if you are fit, as the presidency is saying now, the president is fit, the president is hale and hearty, then what are you doing in France that the country needs your attention? Then in terms of protection, if you are a leader that is concerned about the welfare of his people, then what are you doing in France when your people are not being protected, when your people are being murdered by the murderous herdsmen? Now, to cut it short on that, let us now go to the one of the Benue State Governor Alia. What he did to Mr. Peter Obi, the Benue State Governor, used his political machinery, his political weight, his connection and network as the governor to make sure that he stopped Mr. Peter Obi from visiting Benue State. Now, we can look at this from two perspectives, and what are the issues we can point out in all of this? First, the Benue State Governor, what he's doing falls under the realm of political loyalty, or you can call it political correctness, in the sense that anything the opposition will do, this person was an opposition to my boss, in quotes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in 2023, and this person is a likely potential candidate, a viable and formidable one at that in 2027. So anything that will bring credit to this man definitely will bring a kind of demarketing to my boss. So anything that will make people to sing the praise of this man, will not add to the political fortune or capital of my boss. So what the Benue State governor is doing is falls under the realm of political loyalty. He is showing his unflinching loyalty to the Mr. President, and also falls under the realm of political correctness that, okay, we are APC in this state. Now, you are Labour Party. If we allow you and the cameras are there and everybody is there, it will give you political capital, which I'm still coming back to speak on. But then again, let us look at something. Political loyalty, political correctness. The first thing is that you, Governor Halia, you have the capacity to stop Peter Obi, but that same capacity, you cannot use it to protect your people. Look at it. You have the capacity to stop Mr. Peter Obi, to do all within your reach, to make sure that you use the police, you even issue press statement, to stop Mr. Peter Obi. The intelligence that you used to know that Mr. Peter Obi is coming, because it was Mr. Peter Obi that even reached out to you out of respect anyway. Now, those power, those might that you use to stop Mr. Peter Obi, if you have been proactive in your state as a governor, the killings wouldn't have happened in that your state. So you can see that you are after political correctness, you are after political loyalty, but you cannot use that political loyalty, that political capital. You being APC in Benue State, APC at the federal level, you cannot use it to the benefit of your state. That is failure. If it were to be a sane country, that Governor Alia will not win a second term. If it were to be in like the Europe, the Americas, there's no way he can win a second term, because it seemed to be more after politics than the protection of his own people. And let us even look at something, which is that the political point that Mr. Peter Obi will score is less than the impact of his visit. The political point that he will score, if they have allowed him, it would be less than the impact of his visit, in the sense that insecurity issues is prominent in Nigeria, and between now and 2027, as things are going in the state, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five attacks will still happen in that state, Benue State. So even if you had allowed Mr. Peter Obi, it's not like election is coming next week. Election is in 2027, and this is 2025. So even if you have allowed him, the political point that he would score definitely will have less. The political point that we score is less than the impact that Mr. Peter Obi's visit will have to people that are grieving, to people that that are mourning the loss of their loved ones, to people that have lost properties, to people that have lost their capital and political fortune. A political superstar, Mr. Peter, will be coming there. We give them that sense of belonging. We give them that sense of hope. So if you look at it well, the political capital, I repeat, that Obi will score if he had been allowed, is not up to the impact of that visit, that the person of the stature of Mr. Peter Obi is visiting people that are grieving. The impact of that visit is less. The impact of that visit is way much than the political capital that Mr. Peter Obi will score at this point in time. But then again, kudos to Mr. Peter Obi. Yes, we have to say kudos to Mr. Peter Obi for being presidential and national. And I will explain both. Now, Mr. Peter Obi is being presidential in the sense that what the president that is constitutionally permitted to preside over the affairs of Nigeria, what he fails to do, now that he's doing I don't care, Mr. Peter Obi is doing it. So Mr. Peter Obi is the one in the recent killings in Nigeria that have been more presidential than even the president himself. And that is unfortunate. Now, the second one is that thanks to Mr. Peter Obi for being national, in the sense that Mr. Peter Obi can decide to stay in the south. There are a lot of problems in the southeast. So many problems there, the different problems there. He can be visiting them, he can be donating to them, but for him to choose to be national, to cross over to the north, that itself is being presidential in the two senses. Because if you want to be a president of Nigeria, you must be able to stretch your hand across to the length and breadth of Nigeria. So, Mr. Peter Obi, if you look at it, kudos to him for being presidential and for being national, because he can decide to stay in the south, in the southwest, or even in the southeast. There is no problem all over the place. But kudos to him for being national than sectional. And if you look at it, this Governor Alia, his impact has not been felt in the state, because when Governor Autumn was there, Governor Autumn was more active, and there was this law against all this open grazing, Fulani herdsmen and all that. You see, what I can say to the people of Benue State is only a decisive leader can deal with the issue of Fulani herdsmen and killing in the state. And that's why Governor Samuel Ortom was very decisive. So what we are appealing is a change of approach from the governor, both the governor and the president, so that the people of Benue State can be protected, because they deserve the protection. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omosoladeji. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.